and then he just needs a beat down, needs humbling. And instead of eating cheeseburgers, I'm going to feed him some humble pie.
It's something that we took very seriously and something that a lot of work has gone into, and obviously it hasn't been resolved. And
so here's what just went down. Anthony Joshua just dropped legal papers on Jake Paul over his role in that crash situation. And this news is sending massive ripples through boxing right now. He's putting the spotlight on dangerous behavior and these attention-seeking stunts that have been sliding by without consequences for way too long. He's making it obvious that being responsible actually counts in this game. While Jake Paul seems to dodge real accountability for his actions, Anthony Joshua deals with legitimate threats and serious duties every single time he steps up, demonstrating to everyone watching what actual responsibility and genuine character look like in professional boxing. This goes way beyond some online drama or social media noise. This represents serious legal moves that show Joshua is finished tolerating people who see boxing as just another chance to create viral moments for their online platforms.
Just talking about, oh, he's this, he's that, he's that. I said, but what are you worrying about what someone else has done? What have you done as a fighter to kind of boost your ego up?
Eddie Hearn backs up that legal moves are happening, which matters because it demonstrates Anthony Joshua is seriously making Jake Paul answer for his actions through legitimate legal processes, not just throwing around insults on social platforms like most people do. This has nothing to do with manufacturing controversy or hunting for viral content. It focuses on real accountability and ensuring genuine consequences exist for dangerous actions that threaten people's safety. While the Paul crew keeps making money from disorder and drama, treating everything like another opportunity to go viral, Anthony Joshua works through proper legal systems to make sure justice actually happens, demonstrating that professionalism and discipline go way beyond what takes place during actual fights. This separates legitimate champions from online personalities pretending to be real competitors, and the difference couldn't be clearer to everyone watching, paying attention.
And he wouldn't do so. So we filed a lawsuit against him, and we'll leave it in the hands of the lawyers.
Carl Froch,
This whole mess perfectly shows the complete disorder that Jake Paul brings everywhere he shows up. Now Paul's about to discover that Anthony Joshua isn't fooling around or getting caught up in meaningless online battles. Taking legal action represents Anthony Joshua's method of making things right permanently, demonstrating to everyone the huge gap between legitimate champions who've proven themselves through sacrifice, hard work, and years of commitment versus online jokers who believe spending money on boxing makes them real fighters. This represents the wake-up call that Paul really needed, and it's happening because of someone who actually earns respect within the boxing world. Joshua choosing legal action rather than just firing back with social posts or online content shows a seriousness level that should get everyone's attention about what's actually going down here. No more nonsense.
Where does he go from here? What does he do? I'm not even arsed, man. I can't be arsed with this bullshit anymore, this clown world. It's a joke shop. It's just a big fucking... It's just a...
This whole thing is just pure theater. Logan Paul attempts making jokes about what happened, but his comedy only shows how reckless and unsafe Jake Paul has really been through his behavior, and the toxic environment he builds around himself. Anthony Joshua barely survived a potentially deadly situation that resulted from the disorder and carelessness connected to Paul's behavior and the unsafe conditions these people create for views and fame. While the Paul team laughs and treats everything like pure entertainment and material for their videos, Anthony Joshua deals with genuine life-threatening situations that might have destroyed his career or even worse, his actual life. This legal action is way overdue, and it's demonstrating to everyone that choices carry real results and that people who see boxing as their personal playground or social media performance will finally face consequences for the harm they've created. The era of escaping dangerous behavior just because you've got millions of online followers is ending, especially when it comes to Anthony Joshua's patience running out completely.
It is, what was it, about an hour ago? So I guess everything's calmed down a little bit. I thought it was a bitch move, if I'm honest, because anytime an attack like that is like
calculated from the start. Eddie Hearn calls out the planned recklessness that's been driving Jake Paul's behavior this entire time. When you actually examine it, the pattern becomes undeniable. Anthony Joshua didn't just make it through some random incident that might happen to anybody. He survived something that was basically planned through the unsafe conditions and destructive atmosphere that Paul intentionally built and keeps feeding. This demonstrates the core difference between legitimate fighters who honor the sport and recognize the risks versus online entertainers who see boxing as just another shot at viral videos and engagement numbers. Joshua's legal response shows he possesses the self-control and accountability that Jake Paul has never shown throughout his entire time in boxing, something Jake Paul will discover the painful way now that court action is happening, and he can't just brush it off or create a response video. People can finally recognize the reality behind all the disorder and fake controversy, and exactly why Anthony Joshua earns complete respect, not only as a competitor, but as someone who takes accountability seriously and refuses to accept recklessness that endangers lives.
As AJ said, and everybody knows, he's not a real boxer. There's levels to this game, and he was way out of his level, way out of his depth.
Duke McKenzie calls out Jake Paul's weaknesses spot on, slicing through all the marketing and publicity garbage to show what's actually happening here. Anthony Joshua survived a truly dangerous situation that might have ended in tragedy, while Paul stays basically a video creator, pretending to be a competitor, using cash and marketing to buy credibility he hasn't really earned through honest competition. This incident reveals the actual price of carelessness and what occurs when people see boxing as pure entertainment without grasping the real dangers that exist. Anthony Joshua shows that real fighters deal with actual consequences and grasp the impact of their choices, while Paul feeds off fake chaos and online fame without ever dealing with real accountability. The legal action will show him that acting dangerous and actually being a real fighter are completely separate things, and it's going to humble his attitude in ways that no online drama or social media beef ever managed. This is reality finally catching up with someone who's been running from it way too long.
He didn't do anything for his career, for his bank account, everything. For his development. I don't think he did anything for his development because he didn't have somebody in front of him that wanted to test his development.
Johnny Nelson points out the complete hollowness of Jake Paul's career decisions and marketing tricks. While Joshua dealt with real survival situations that put everything into focus, Paul gets nothing except pride boosts and online attention from his fake controversies and hand-picked fights, while legitimate fighters put everything on the line each time they enter the ring. The accident wasn't some random incident that occurred without warning. It directly resulted from the careless conditions and dangerous atmosphere that Paul purposely built for attention and videos. Anthony Joshua demonstrates to everyone exactly how to handle things correctly with professionalism, responsibility, and real legal steps rather than just exchanging insults online or creating response videos. People now clearly see who actually honors the sport and handles it with proper seriousness versus who turns it into a circus or reality show meant to create clicks and drama. The Paul team's antics and their entire boxing approach finally face real consequence, and it's definitely time someone with Joshua's reputation and credibility made them answer for their action.
I mean...
That's bonkers. Thank God he didn't have a seatbelt on. I never say that. Thank God he didn't have a fucking seatbelt on, because if he did...
There's no way.
He would be dead.
Nearly killed or seriously hurt. Joe Rogan stresses just how close Anthony Joshua really came to dying in this whole thing. When you learn what actually happened, it's genuinely scary to imagine what might have occurred. This wasn't just chance or luck that kept him alive. It came from the aftermath of chaos and carelessness that Jake Paul directly caused through his choices and the conditions he builds. Paul's behavior and his entire boxing approach endanger real lives while he sits back, laughing and making money. Seeing it all as just another episode in his ongoing video series, Anthony Joshua beat terrible odds and now takes strong action through legal channels, proving to people everywhere that responsibility really matters and that limits exist for what behavior gets accepted. The lawsuit isn't just about money or getting paid back. It's a strong statement that careless behavior, fame chasing, and fake toughness in boxing won't be accepted anymore by people who actually care about the sport's reputation. This is Joshua making his stand and telling the circus atmosphere that's been growing around boxing, thanks to social media stars, treating it like content to stop right now.
They're hustlers. They're just trying to be smart. So for AJ, this is about AJ, how he deals with it. He's got to stay focused, on point. Respect Jake Paul as though he's on the same level as him.
This really isn't my thing, because Johnny Nelson hits it perfectly when he explains that everyone who understands real boxing knows Anthony Joshua operates in a completely different class compared to Jake Paul. Jake Paul gets hyped up by his own fantasies and his follower army who don't know actual boxing, not through real talent preparation or honest achievements against quality competition. The Paul brothers make money from fame and manufactured chaos, but real boxing has always focused on discipline, commitment, years of preparation, and dealing with real consequences. Things that Anthony Joshua shows every single day he's alive. Taking legal action proves that Joshua won't accept carelessness and unsafe behavior anymore, creating a clear boundary that can't be crossed without facing results. People clearly see now who actually earns respect in this sport. A champion who survives real danger and actively defends his reputation and the sport's honor, versus an internet performer feeding off nonsense and fake controversy. The Paul brothers are finally getting forced to confront the reality of their choices and the results of seeing boxing as just another social media game. And Anthony Joshua's response stays strong, fair, and completely decisive in ways that can't be dismissed or laughed away.
We don't know. As with all these things, there's always a grey area, isn't there? But,
Adam Smith mentions that gray areas exist in some boxing controversies and marketing tactics, but Anthony Joshua makes it totally obvious that certain things go way over the line completely, and Jake Paul's carelessness did exactly that without any doubt. This lawsuit isn't about some questionable situation or personal interpretation of what happened. It's about clear responsibility for choices that endangered lives. People are finally recognizing the difference between a legitimate fighter who's earned every piece of his reputation through years of commitment and a fame-seeking amateur who bought his entry into boxing with online money and social media followers. Joshua survived real danger while Paul laughed about it and probably figured out how to make money from the controversy, and now he's proving to everyone that choices have serious results that go beyond social media drama. This sends a powerful message that arrogance and chaos don't escape punishment when actual lives face risk. And when someone with Joshua's position decides to take action, Anthony Joshua shows that honor and responsibility beat fake toughness every single time, and that a basic difference exists between being famous and earning respect in the boxing world.
What happened, obviously it's a tragic incident. 2 people have lost their lives. It's a horrific moment. I thought the reporting of it yesterday, I've read and obviously got in contact with his management team straight away. I thought the reporting of it was responsible, not...
Gareth Davies points out the tragedy of what happened and the responsible reporting that demonstrates the real seriousness of what Anthony Joshua survived and had to go through. Unlike the Paul brothers who feed on exaggeration, fake drama, and chaos that they build for views and engagement, Joshua dealt with actual loss and real danger that might have ended his life or career forever. The difference between these two boxing approaches couldn't be more obvious if you planned it on purpose. One side honors life, truth, and the serious nature of the sport, while the other uses every situation for content, clicks, and social media attention without caring about consequences. Taking legal action reinforces that responsibility matters and sends a totally clear message that dangerous antics in boxing carry real consequences beyond bad publicity or social media criticism. People now see Joshua as a champion in every way possible, both during fights and outside of them. Someone who handles tragedy with honor, respect, and proper legal steps, while entertainers profit from chaos, without ever dealing with real responsibility for the harm they caused.
In AJ's life. And it's so crazy to think that over a week and a half ago, he was on top of the world. Apparently he'd pocketed $92 million from his Jake Paul fight. The American audience was in love with him. His star was bigger than ever. And then just yesterday, we see footage like this of AJ being pulled from the wreckage in a situation where if he'd just sat on the other side of the car, they wouldn't have been pulling him out alive. There's no...
The pain game. This highlights the huge difference between fame and actual survival, between social media popularity and real-world results that can't be solved with good publicity. Anthony Joshua went from making massive money and sitting on top of everything to literally fighting to stay alive, and all because of the carelessness around the Paul brothers and the unsafe conditions they build. While Jake Paul enjoys hype, marketing chances, and social media engagement, Joshua deals with consequences that Paul can't even start to understand, because he's never experienced anything close to similar. This incident shows who really faces danger in boxing and who actually earns respect through their choices and character, not just through marketing tactics and social media followers. Taking legal action proves that Joshua makes people answer for their choices, demonstrating to people everywhere that real champions defend their lives and reputation with more than just tough talk and online posts. The Paul brothers feed on spectacle and fake controversy, but Joshua succeeds through discipline, bravery, and justice, taking real steps through proper systems. Everyone sees clearly now the difference between fake toughness and real fighter attitude, between someone playing a character for content and someone who actually lives the life of a professional athlete with all its dangers and consequences. Responsibility.
To really be there for them and the family, anything they need. You know, sometimes when someone is a star, they have a lot of things in their life taken care of for them. So you really have to move into that mode in this situation as well. Make sure, obviously, they're getting the best medical attention, make sure their family are safe and
happy and almost at his happiest. Eddie Hearn points out Anthony Joshua's humanity and sense of duty, which really makes him stand out in this whole mess. Unlike Jake Paul, who feeds on fame and chaos while seeing everything as content for his next video, Joshua makes sure that people affected by tragedy get properly supported and protected in real ways. This goes beyond boxing or marketing strategies. It's about character, honor, and responsibility in action, revealing who someone really is when situations get serious. The lawsuit proves that carelessness carries consequences that go beyond social media criticism or bad publicity. Real legal and financial results exist for building dangerous situations. People see Joshua as a true champion who values people over publicity and substance over social media engagement. Someone who takes action when it counts instead of just talking. The Paul brothers' antics get exposed as shallow and meaningless, while Joshua proves that real strength comes from courage, caring, and ensuring justice actually gets served, both in the ring where he competes and in life where he has to handle the results of other people's dangerous behavior.
This is an unbelievable loss. Sinna and Latif are two incredible people who are not only part of AJ's team, but also friends. My sincere condolences to their families, loved ones, and everyone who knew them. Anthony Joshua, wishing you a speedy recovery. Stay strong, champion.
Alexander U6 emphasizes the tragic human price behind Anthony Joshua's recent ordeal. When you really grasp what occurred, it becomes even more impactful. Two loyal friends who were part of his close group died in this situation, and Joshua survived against impossible odds when things might have easily gone differently. This reminds us of the real dangers that Jake Paul's careless actions indirectly caused through the chaos and atmosphere he builds, dangers that go way beyond hurt pride or social media arguments. While the Paul brothers feed on hype, chaos, and fame, seeing everything as just another chance for content and engagement, Joshua deals with life and death situations with respect and bravery that most people couldn't keep under that kind of stress. Taking legal action is a strong move that not only defends his reputation and standing, but sends a clear message that careless actions carry real consequences that impact real people. People now see the difference between a true champion who values life, loyalty, and responsibility above everything else, and internet entertainers who profit from drama without ever dealing with the real-world impact of their behavior and the conditions they create. Anthony Joshua's strength and leadership come through every statement he makes, and every action proving exactly why he's respected, not just as a fighter, but as a person. The reporting on Anthony Joshua's accident demonstrates how close he really came to serious injury, including possible brain damage that might have ended his career and changed his life forever. This isn't some boxing story created for promotion or social media engagement. It's reality, and it got worse because of the careless environment that Jake Paul thrives in and purposely builds for attention. The Paul brothers profit from chaos, sharing clips and jokes and seeing everything as content, while someone's life literally depends on survival. Anthony Joshua's survival shows his bravery, awareness, and self-control. Standing in sharp contrast with the surface-level toughness of the Paul brothers, who've never dealt with anything close to this serious taking legal action, shows that Joshua won't let carelessness go unpunished or unchallenged, proving to people everywhere that responsibility matters as much as ring skill, possibly even more. This accident has made people recognize Joshua's strength outside the ring too, showing how he handles grief, loss, and legal action while keeping professionalism and respect that most people couldn't maintain. The Paul brothers are finally dealing with the results of their carelessness and the unsafe atmosphere they've built, and they're learning that some people won't just let things go to avoid drama.
A little bit days water, he could get seriously hurt. I don't believe Josh would have. I believe Josh might have some.
Tony Bellew perfectly understands the seriousness of what Anthony Joshua went through during this whole situation. Spending days near serious injury isn't a publicity stunt or marketing trick. It's truly life-threatening, something that Jake Paul's careless antics indirectly caused through his choices and the chaos he builds. While the Paul brothers focus on ego, hype, and social media fame, seeing boxing as just another platform for creating content, Anthony Joshua handles real danger with bravery and calm that comes from years of professional experience and real character. His compassion, strength, and focus under pressure make him different from fame-chasing entertainers who've never dealt with real consequences for their choices. Taking legal action ensures that responsibility gets enforced and that actual consequences exist for creating dangerous situations, proving that Joshua is serious about accountability. People have now seen the clear contrast. A true champion faces consequences directly and values life and honor above social media numbers and engagement. While the Paul brothers exploit situations for fame without any real accountability or understanding of the damage they caused, Joshua's strength outside the ring matches his power inside it. And this incident will shape his legacy as a fighter who commands respect beyond boxing, someone who fights for what's right no matter the consequences or criticism.